Zippy is often overlooked for carries like Zaya and Siphon. He's gone under the radar despite being one of the strongest comps in the game. In this video, I'll show you what you need to do to play him effectively. In this video, we're going over what to do in the early, middle, and late game, what units to hold items for transitions, what augments to look for, and how to position well. Now in the early game, these are the core units you want to focus on. You really only care about Sejuani and Twitch. However, due to the nature of Zippy's carry items, melee carries actually work best as an early shell. Using warriors as an early item holder works as a great bridge to Zippy. Whether you get Wukong or Yone first, it doesn't matter. Just have one of them hold the carry items. If you don't find either, then Ezreal works until you do. As you move into the mid game, your main goal is to find Zippy ASAP. Aside from that, you'll want to add in more Guild and Cavalier units whenever possible. Prioritize Guild over Cavalier. So for example, if you hit an early Jace and Hecarim, Jace should be played first. Level 7 is where you want to slow roll. It's likely you'll find an early Jace or Hecarim when rolling gold at this level. Now it's less likely you'll find Bard, but if you do get extremely lucky and find one, swap him ASAP. Lilia, Rel, and Nunu are all replaceable, but hold on to Nunu as you'll play him at level 8. When you're close enough to Zippy 3-star, commit to the all-in roll down. Unless you're desperate, however, don't go past 20 gold. You'll need it to get levels in the late game. Zippy 3-star can be an expensive board to play, so focusing on econ management is one of the keys to winning with this board. Once you've hit Zippy 3-star, your goal should be to get level 9 ASAP. If you're forced to roll down some gold to stabilize, you should be looking for Jace and Hecarim 2-star. At level 9, you want to play Shyvana. She will be your backup carry and has great synergies with Shapeshifter 2, Ragewing 4, and Dragon 2. If you've made it this far, then it's likely you've already secured top 4. To fight for first place, it will depend on items, augments, and positioning, so let's go over that. For damage items, you want to start on any melee carry. Warriors are usually best here, and then you transfer to Zippy as soon as you find him. The best in slot items are Infinity Edge, Bloodthirster, and Titan's Resolve. Hand of Justice is a playable substitute for Bloodthirster, and you can sub Titan's Resolve for Edge of Night, but you will lose out on damage if you do. Infinity Edge is mandatory. For tank items, start on Sejuani, and once you move into the late game, you'll want to remake her and give the tank items to either Jace or Hecarim. Here, you want to use Sunfire Cape, Protector's Vow, and either Dragon's Claw or Bramble Vest. Warmogs is also a solid substitute for Protector's Vow. Extra items that can provide high value are Ionic Spark, Hodge, Jeweled Gauntlet, Deathcap, and Morellonomicon on Shyvana. Redemption and Protector's Vow are also very solid. Since most units will be clumped in melee, you get high value from their aura effect. Now we're talking about augments here. Knife's Edge provides great value due to the high damage you get since most units are frontline. As for cybernetics, both implants and shell provide high value to your carry. Either option is great, just choose depending on what you lack, either durability or damage. As always, Celestial Blessing is a top tier pick. This augment plus Bloodthirster makes Zippy almost unkillable. Big Friend is actually an incredible choice here. Since most units will be in melee, clumping them up will not hurt too bad. Just make sure to have Warmogs to activate the effect. Dragon Soul is solid for a few reasons. One extra dragon trait is super strong alone, but it also gives a free Zippy and a tank item. Granted, the tank item isn't the best for this comp, but it's still a solid choice regardless. Now for Guild Crown, Crest, or Heart, it is especially useful, especially in the late game with an emblem. You can give it to a non-guild unit to get all of those bonuses onto them. Exiles works super well with your comp, providing excellent durability. It's like Big Friend, except instead of clumping, you just remain separate. Battle Mage is actually a pretty good choice here. Now Zippy only benefits from the armor portion of it, but units like Shyvana, Hecarim, and Jace all also get the bonus AP. Gear upgrades is super broken in this comp. Getting this augment is one of the signals to go force it, especially if you get a guild emblem. Better Together is pretty nice. The locket it gives has decent value, but you should only play it if you have another aura item to pair with it, like Redemption or Protector's Vow. Loot Master is super broken on 2-1, but you should only take this at later stages if you have another augment like Cybernetics or gear upgrades, where you benefit from just throwing on random items onto all of your units. Dragon Imperialist is not a bad choice here, but keep in mind you can only play one dragon, which means you won't be able to go Shyvana late game. You also won't be able to play Dragon Soul, so just keep this in mind when you see this augment. Pandora's Bench can be useful for securing a 3-star Zippy and other 3-star units. If you have other choices, however, I suggest you take them, as this augment can be slow to play. Rich Get Richer is a solid choice on 2-1. This comp does require a ton of econ. Just remember, if you do play this, you will be loose streaking, so make sure to save as much HP as possible. The big value in this augment comes from 7 interest, so try not to spend any gold until level 7 when you're rolling down. Windfall, on the other hand, is a solid choice on 4-2. For that last bit of gold you might need to hit Zippy 3-star. Take this if you're close to Zippy, but low on gold. Now for positioning, Zippy actually doesn't have to worry worry about most things. Since he's in the front line, assassins won't bother him, and because he jumps around a lot, there's no way to avoid clumping spells. Either he gets hit or he doesn't. There are a couple things, however, that we can do to improve our board. Most importantly, Hecarim's positioning. As always, make sure to have Hecarim facing the opposite end of the enemy backline. You want him to ult across the board and hit as many units as possible. Next, you want to position Shyvana so that she's on the same side of the enemy backline, just behind your main tanks. Although she slams down on the biggest clump, it does help so that the enemy backline also gets hit by this. Now defensively, once you play Bard, keep him and Twitch on opposite ends of the board. As always, use Twitch as your bait unit for things like Sohm ult, Lux ult, and Deja ult. If this guide helped you, drop a like and let me know in the comments how this comp works for you. Until next time, I'm Swagadelic.